to town. Today, mini cheesecakes. They are so hot. They just came out of the oven, but you could see they're a little tiny tart. The individual hot. I lined the bottom with our cookie crumb and then topped it with our cheesecake mix, and it's a much quicker recipe than our large cheesecake. Yes, you do need to do the dividing up, which does take time, but you totally make up for it in oven time, which is really pared back to about 20 minutes in the oven and no cooling in the oven. They're gonna cool at room temperature and hopefully not crack in the process. These are our mini cheesecakes. Stick around, let's make them together right now. Let's get on with making our mini cheesecakes. So what I have here is 250 grams of crushed graham crackers. You could use Digestive biscuits or Lotus biscuits. If you're using the Lotus biscuits though, use a little bit less than the 75 grams of melted butter I have. The Lotus biscuits have a little more fat in them, and if you were to add all of this butter, it would actually make it a little too soggy. But graham crackers, awesome little bit of history is that Mr. Graham, I forget his first name, actually was very health conscious and wanted to bring more healthy foods to America in the form of whole wheat. And he created what was called graham flour, and these graham crackers are one of his influences. They are whole wheat, just like the Digestives. That's why they do taste very similar. So there is my mixture. Here are my little mini tins, and I'm gonna just spoon a little bit in. I feel like 1.5 tablespoons is enough. I have these tea glasses. Here's the handle that we got as a wedding present. We got so many of these. They must have been in fashion 25 years ago. But I'm gonna use the flat bottom just to press in my crust, and I'm gonna keep on going until I've used up all my mixture, and then I'm gonna pop these in the fridge while we make our filling, but that is the beginning of our mini cheesecakes. All right, so here we go. All of my mini cases are filled with the base. I'm gonna stick them in the fridge while I put together the filling, just to give them an opportunity to set up a bit. My oven is on at 160 degrees Celsius, 320 Fahrenheit, so it's heating up, and now it's time to make our mix. So what I have here is 3 cups or 3 bars of American cream cheese, and it is quite solid. One just ran away. Do not worry about it. My counters are clean, I promise. The solidity of this means I could just pick it right up. All right, to that I'm gonna add 150 grams of superfine castor sugar. You could use regular sugar as well. I just prefer it when all the grains kind of dissipate into the cream cheese, and I'm gonna set it going until it's nice and smooth, and then we'll tune back in. My cream cheese and sugar are all smooth, so I'm just going to wipe down the sides as you would in a regular stand mixer. You can do this in a stand mixer as well, but if you have an option to do it in a food processor, all the better, because you're putting less air into the mix. I'm gonna add my next ingredient, which is 20 grams of plain all-purpose flour is going in there, along with 2 eggs and 1/4 cup of whole milk, as well as 1 teaspoon of vanilla. If you're making a lemony based mix, now you would add 1 teaspoon of grated lemon zest, but I'm not quite sure how I'm topping these mini cheesecakes, so I'm suspending the lemon because I really don't want to give it a lemon flavor if we're going all chocolate. And that is our mix done. I'm going to scrape down the sides once more, give it one more mix with the food processor, and then we'll be ready to fill our mini cupcake cases. Mini cupcake, mini cheesecake, whatever it is we're making. All right, we are done. I'm gonna get those guys out of the fridge and start filling them up. So my little filled cheesecakes are here and ready, and I poured some of the cheesecake filling into a measuring cup just to make my life a little bit easier. And then I'm going to fill these guys about 3/4 of the way and then keep on going and try as best as possible not to drip, but knowing me, they're gonna drip everywhere. So I'm gonna keep on filling until they're all filled and ready to go into the oven. My cheesecakes are ready to go into the oven. How awesome do they look? And they're not even baked yet. So I'm gonna put them in and I'm gonna test them after 15 minutes. What I want is for them to still have a bit of a jiggle. There isn't much anyways, but not to be totally set. They'll set up as they cool. So probably 15 to 20 minutes until we're ready to come out of the oven. So 160 degrees Celsius, 320 Fahrenheit, 15 to 20 minutes until these guys are ready to come out. It's been 18 minutes actually, so somewhere between 15 and 20, and my cheesecakes are ready to come out of the oven. I'm so excited about these guys. I'll be back in frame, and there they are. Look at those. How beautiful are they? Oh my goodness. I am very excited. I need them to cool down. No one can eat them hot. I mean, you can eat them. They just don't taste very nice. They really need to set and cool. But our mini cheesecakes are done. And it was actually a little bit easier than making a large cheesecake. There's no water bath involved because they're so small. We're less concerned about them baking fully and evenly, and they're in the oven for a very short amount of time. So those are our mini cheesecakes, gorgeous, out of the oven. Now it's time to let them cool. So top tips for cheesecake. One thing I always tell people with the big cheesecakes, always be careful about your heat, about how long it's in the oven, about the cooling in the oven, about the water bath. One of the reasons I love mini cheesecakes is because firstly, individual sized, awesome. And because they're in the oven for 20 minutes maximum, there's no cooling in the oven, and you could then play around with your toppings, and each one of them could be topped with something else. So if you're not into the whole massive cheesecake, try out a mini cheesecake. I promise you will not be disappointed. These are amazing. Wishing you a Chag Sameach, a wonderful Shavuot. Wherever you are, whomever you're with, it should just be filled with joy, peace, and cheesecake. See y'all soon.